Bum bum bum. Bada bum bum. What is up, YouTube? Wanted to see if I could just jump on spontaneously as always and answer any questions or anything like that. Because it's been a while, so getting back into things and all of that good stuff. Currently still doing pickups at the moment for a film that I did at the start of March. So yeah, I kind of covered everything in the post IBC chat. Then doing something for Amazon next week as well, which would be cool. So yeah, just here to try and answer some of your guys' questions, I guess, and yeah, see how all that works. So let me know. There should be a box somewhere, and then you can ask away. Couple of videos I still need to make. Proper test the S-Mic 2. I still need to do a timecode systems review for one that they have for their DSLR solutions and stuff like that, really. But there's quite a lot of you on right now, so get in the comments and ask some questions. I think that's the general idea. And I think I'll try and figure out where the actual questions should appear, because they're not actually showing up at the moment. So I guess we'll figure that out as well. Hopefully here. Oh, that's off. But I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying all the content. And I just need to do more of it. And let's pause that. And then hopefully I can see the chat. There we go. Okay. Hello, Droid Media from Illinois. Wireless boom. Any loss of quality over going wire to mixer? So my general experience of this is firstly, for very, very loud scenes, then going hardwired is pretty much a must, just because of the kind of dynamic range and how much the mixer and the preamplification from that can hold. So I would say so I guess there's a couple of parts. So in the scenario where the dialogue is kind of just normal level, or what we would call quote unquote normal level, then yeah, I find that there's not been any loss of quality, and that's been with experiences of both Wizicom and with Lectro, which are the only wireless like plug-ons straight to the back of the kind of shotgun and hypercardioid. I have found with some microphones, I kind of, because I've tried with the MK50 and with the MK41. Actually became MKH50 and the 41, which are both the hypercardioids. They tend to be better, the more sensitive microphones, because essentially what you're trying to do is get a lot more gain, so the wireless doesn't have to do as much, I kind of find. And that would definitely be the case if I was going into, like, had a Phantom Powerbomb or something, and then was able to go into a G3 or something with definitely like less quality overall. So yeah, then you need a louder signal to drive it, but then you don't want it to be too loud, and quiet dialogue as well. I kind of find that is generally a bit cleaner. But that being said, if you add the more experience I got with it, especially over the last previous feature film that I did, getting used to like what settings the gain, it's just a lot of gain stages, which I actually kind of almost take for granted in a way, because with quite a lot of setups on wireless packs, I kind of know my ranges already, but wireless packs on actual shotguns powering that way kind of don't have that much experience, like just knowing the level off by heart. So we're kind of playing around quite a lot. But yeah, so I would say the loss of quality comes from, yeah, just improper or like not as optimized gain staging as with going through a wire. But then again, you can save a lot of time with things like cabling, and you can save a lot of time in just moving around. And so in that sense, the time that you would have spent kind of checking all the gain stage and stuff is the time that you would save running cables and things like that. So yeah, I don't think you lose anything that much overall. So I'd ideally like to get wireless boom though. So yeah. And sound for picture. Thank you very much. This is actually the backdrop of the side business I'm doing with the wife. Yeah. So she's very dab-handed fabric cutting and creation. So yeah, always busy with something. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any more questions, because this is all about you. Yay. And yeah, I don't think there's really that much going on, really, apart from just kind of business as usual, trying to just sort everything else out. Let me know as well if I can help you with getting more work or anything that are like not just specifically gear related. Because I still can't believe it's been like 8 years now, but it still feels not that long ago that I was commuting from Scotland to London and kind of building up my foundation and network. And it's nice that I still work with some of those people now. And there's been clients that I've been working with for like 8 years now, which has been kind of bizarre. So sound for picture, MixPre 10T plus CMC 641. That's the Sherp's MK41 capsule on the CMC 6 preamp. Good combination. I would say yes. And I would say yes for a number of reasons. MixPre 10, quietest preamps that they've ever made. And I would say that the MK41 is by very much my favorite hypercardioid. Although when I've tested them directly with the Sennheiser 50s, I haven't tried the 8050s yet. I kind of find the Sennheisers a bit too high-ish impact on like most of their microphones, which is certainly useful in combinations, which is why like the 416 was so successful, I think, as well, just for being outdoors and kind of cutting through and then giving that clarity at the same time. And yeah, I really like the roll off of the MK41 and just getting it once you're in that kind of sweet spot range of hypers, for close-ups. It's there's just real like body to the whole sound of it, which is really nice. And even just using it generally outside, a bit further away, kind of two-hander talking in kind of like quiet to moderate locations, really nice as well, and good size. And I actually only have the CMC 5U, which is the preamp. So the CMC 6 is going to be, I suppose, better. That's why there's number 6, right? So hopefully that helps. Next thing on my list is upgrading wireless mics. I think either I'm going to sell the Sankens that I have right now and get more Sankens, just because I have quite a lot of, the ones that have been breaking quite a lot have been the black cabled ones. And so I've ended up with quite a lot of white cabled ones, which I can still use quite a lot. I do quite a lot of creative content where there's white shirts, that kind of thing. So it's not been a deal breaker for sure, but it's it always feels better to have a more even combination. And again, quite a lot of these mics are legacy mics in a way, because it's been from like when I've been first starting out. And words on the forum say that eventually mics kind of get a bit duller. I don't know. So yeah, I need to just do that. And yeah, I've been pretty good this year kind of holding off buying stuff, and I'm just trying to be more strategic about the equipment that I do. And for instance, I'll be getting some more IEMs, I think, because I sold my Electro IEMs and went with the Sennheiser ones just because they're a bit more kind of plug and play friendly with AA batteries. So that should be pretty good. And then yeah, that is pretty much all she wrote. So there's still 5 of you on, so like get some questions in. Oh yeah, gonna get the 641 next month. Yeah, let me know how it sounds. I'd really be interested to try the different preamps. Unfortunately, UK news, Richmond Sound Services, which used to be a massive one, and they're literally based down in Shepperton, has kind of sold everything off, and they've retired. So they were a massive place reliable place to hire stuff as well. But yeah, so I think the world of renting and a decent place to rent is going to get smaller and smaller in a way. Um, Yari Visuals. Yeah, man, it was a pleasure to meet you as well. Let me know when that video's up as well. It's always fun seeing myself, obviously. Greg Palmer, how often are you booming and mixing versus just mixing? I would say creative content stuff is generally me. Well, so the premise of the question is like booming versus mixing only, I think, because booming and mixing, the closest thing you can get to uh, is just focusing on booming, having the boom on 0, and then just auto mixing a bit of radio mics in there. So that's the closest you get to mixing and booming at the same time. But I understand the question is like, how much one-man band stuff am I doing versus kind of drama? And I would say it is probably so the feature films that I do now are all with a boom, except for right now with these pickups, because unfortunately I had people drop out through a bit of miscommunication. So yeah, and then I would generally say quite a lot of the creative content stuff that is limited to, say, a 2-person interview is just me, because it's generally stands and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm generally what, like 80-20, I guess, in overall kind of project basis. But I do quite a lot of one-day projects, and I've only done 2 feature films this year so far. Yeah, 2. So yeah, it's cool. No worries. Yari Visuals has a new channel, so he's setting that up. And yeah, you could totally use your intro anyway, surely. Julian, how's it going? Oh, you can attend IBC. That'd be cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I actually wish I had more time. So next time, NAB, I'm gonna hit super hard. I'm gonna like be ridiculously meticulous and actually like plan stuff, because I was literally just rocking up and being like, so what's new? And then they would be like, oh, this, and I was like, yeah, so I think the people on my channel would like this. Can you talk about this? The Audio Technica guy was actually really funny, because he then actually finishes off that video saying, we also have wireless mics, but I don't know if people in film would be interested with that. So yeah, that just shows how much a good person on a stand can make. So yeah, and now we're getting more people on. Whole idea of this, guys, is that I just hang out and hopefully answer some questions, or at least give my 2 cents or perspective on stuff. So yeah, just don't be shy in those comments, and I'll chat for another like 10 minutes or so. Greg Palmer, any thoughts on converting to audio LTD A10s? So a couple of things. Oh, and Julian Krause, I'm gonna bloody well try. If I'm not on a feature film or something, I'm gonna try and go to NAB, because I need to meet even more people that are just currently usernames to me, unfortunately. So current thoughts converting to audio LTD 10s, A10s. So it's very good that they record internally. It is slightly tricky that I can't do that straight from the mixer. I mean, maybe I can now. But from people that I've been talking to, hey Kyle, how's it going? People that I've been talking to, you have to have like a record app, and you have to go around and you have to record every single one. So again, a lot of the stuff when it comes to the whole record function thing is all about, it comes back to yeah, other solutions, let's call them, I guess. So yeah, turning them on manually, but they do sound very nice. And then so I'm still very torn at the moment. I'm still with the SRBs, and I definitely could go up to the SRCs. And I kind of feel like if I went to the SRC at the moment, then it would be, hey, Ice Willow, come. How's it going? Yeah, you took away. So I kind of feel at the moment that they have very similar features and similar offerings to the Lectrosonics, and I already know Lectrosonics and everything works. So yeah, I'm not sure. I am still hedging. I'm super hedging at the moment, and I'm just gonna hold out and see what happens with the wireless game kind of next year. Maybe even like hold off and until I don't know, hold off until NAB. See when like more stuff is like announced. Um, yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, yeah, NAB must be like very tiring and fun at the same time. That's what it's all about. Sound for Picture, are you also doing audio posts? Yes, I am on mainly on feature films that I record, just because I already know how they've been recorded and I know that it's all right. And generally, I'm on board with like the scripts and stuff. So it does actually make it a lot faster for me. It makes it a lot faster for the director, having to remember everything and me get this kind of like weird like account of what actually happened. And I don't like I don't know how to put this, but like it always reminds me of like film school where you had like obviously terribly recorded projects, and then because you were in sound design, you were meant to like save the film. So I was trying to stay away from that by actually just trying to get any kind of potential sound design like corners like that kind of out the way, because the whole yeah, fixing it in post thing. I mean, it does obviously happen, and it is kind of a bit expected, but it's just it's just so much easier if you kind of figure all this stuff out. So even if it's just as I'm going along, I'm kind of constantly asking about a certain scene, like, oh, where do you think this will kind of go? Are you thinking of this in post production? And then I can kind of get all the stuff in place for that, or I can bring anything up where it would be like, yeah, but in the scene, this person is going and interacting with this object, and it would make this kind of noise, and then they go over here and they're talking quite quietly, and blah blah blah. So it's really trying to bring the kind of post mindset into production, and then from there actually be able to kind of just at least figure out a better way. And even if there's a thing of like, oh, we'll have to do this in post, then I already kind of know about it, which is good. And there's already kind of been some talk about it. And I actually, because I'm actually doing the post production, I actually have some sort of say on how it will actually turn out. Because again, you can suggest all stuff however you want, and then that plan can go completely out the window because of the edit, because of this, that, and the other. So it's nice to completely follow things through. True, working on a climbing documentary, did location sound for. Very nice. That'd be really sick. You should send me that. I'd like to watch that once it's done. Carl, you ran into the same issues last month with all your posts. Yeah, so I don't like to, I mean, I would definitely say that if I had to choose between post and location like a 1,000,000,000%. But I like the combination of doing the location and the post, because of actually the sum of both of those individual parts together can work incredibly well. But yeah, sometimes it is still a pain, and it still gets down to a bit too much of the nitty gritty of like trying to save stuff. So yeah, and yeah, let me know. We've got quite a few people watching actually, which is nice. So let me know if I can answer any questions or give you any thoughts on anything. And yeah, did I try the new DPA Lav? Any thoughts compared to the COS 11? So the new DPA Lav, I didn't get to try it properly. They didn't have anything actually set up at the stand. They had some adapters, but they were kind of like dummy ones. So wasn't able to actually listen to it. A load of people have obviously given it rave reviews, and I'm sure the quality is outstanding. Having it being ridiculously small is super useful. I wonder what the difference is gonna be. I mean, apart from it, obviously that one's incredibly small, but only fairly recently they came out with a slim. So I don't know. And then it's for what, $430. And then so over here, that's probably ex VAT. So what, it's nearly like 500 quid probably after import and stuff like that. So I think realistically, when you can probably get like 2 seconds for the price of 1 DPA. It's all about the kind of caliber of the show that you're working on, and so it either fits into you're doing quite a lot of stuff and you only need 4 of them and you can invest a pretty decent time, or you get a lot of COS 11s. I actually met the guys from Sanken as well, which was really nice. They kind of only spoke Japanese. Oh, see you later, Sam for picture. Met the guy. They kind of only spoke Japanese, so I kind of really wanted to just say like, can you guys just like update and just make the COS 11 like a smaller cable, because I really love everything right down to all the accessories that come with it. So yeah, I don't know how like more forward Sanken in terms of actual lavalier microphones will get, although that would be really exciting if that came out at NAB as well. But yeah, they're just doing kind of the same, similar to other manufacturers, making mini versions of their kind of successful stuff. So yeah, sounding exactly, for instance, the new shorter Sanken one is just basically shorter but sounds exactly the same, just like the mini CMIT versus the CMIT 5U. Kyle, what's the gear that made you happy this year? Getting back into timecode systems is really good. So I'm kind of using half timecode systems, like half Tentacle Sync. So that's making me happy. Kind of still just, I don't know, I'm just happy with my gear at the moment. Like I'm in a place where I'm doing enough of like I'm doing definitely varied stuff, but because it's all kind of in a category of like creative content or feature film, kind of gear that's making me happy, I guess, is like the antennas, stuff like that. Because having nice long range and getting like lav mics to sound really sweet and nice when it's really far away has been really good. So yeah, overall, just generally happy with all of my gear. Definitely, probably some of it needs a bit of love, but it's all been going all right. There's been some funny times where, with my lectures as well, some of the receivers are going a bit skittish, I think. But I already had the boards all kind of updated and replaced on the transmitters, so maybe I just need to give some TLC to the receivers as well. Still loving the SL6. I think the SL6 688, if the 633 was literally just the exact small version, and it also had a super slot, I would literally buy it. That would be my next purchase, to have a smaller rig. I get so spoiled by all the features of the 688 that I now carry it on every job. I didn't bother buying a 633. So if they literally made like a miniature one, I would love that so much. Although super tempted by a mix pre and then having a ridiculously small bag. But then I kind of feel like, what if I need to? So I'm just kind of used to that. And I'm making sure that I'm not carrying my bag too much as well. I'll obviously lighten the load a lot if it's like run and gun like all day. But even on the feature films and like the pickups I'm doing, like I've just got a C stand. I'm just hanging the bag on. I'm just focusing on booming. Because there's only generally one character and there's literally been like no dialogue already for 3 days. So yeah, it's good. Carl, love having the 633 after switch from 702 and 302 together. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 633, it's an absolute beast, believe me. But it's kind of I would find the equivalent of going from It's almost like you can get away with bringing a 633 to a job, but you bring a Kantar instead. So that's kind of how I feel with the 688. It's like, well, I have the 688, so I'll bring the 688. So, and obviously still like charging for it and blah, blah, blah. So that's fine as well. So I get all the perks of just being able to be like, yeah, I can do that. Don't worry. Not that there's many things you can't do, but really love the SL6 kind of combo. Cool. Greg Palmer, anything at IBC that really stood out? So there's still a move for VR, which I thought was interesting. VR sound. So the new Sound Devices firmware. Oh yeah, the Sound Devices firmware as well for both either delivery of the VR, as in it delivers both like binaural, stereo, A and B formats, all in one go from the Sennheiser Ambrio. Is it Ambrio mic? And obviously Zoom bringing out theirs as well. The only question I then have about VR, apart from like aside from like post sound where you're going to recreate stuff, is that surely this has to go into cameras eventually. Like there's just going to be a partnership either with Zoom or with sound devices to integrate their recorder into a camera that does it, because I kind of feel that more and more people are, it's going to be a thing of cost to do it. And plus, because it's a base layer, you're going to prefer to have that rough base layer and then still have all your mono sources. Anyway, back to what stood out. Not really much. I was obviously I was on the deity stand, and I really enjoyed that actually from a standpoint of just starting out gear and actually just seeing more gear that videographers could actually use properly in a kind of easy way. And I'll combine it with Carl's question of anything from IBC that's on my wish list now. And it probably is, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say no to, actually, it's quite a lot of the Orca stuff, to be honest. Having the boom case holder, even the umbrella kind of mount and stuff. I just think they're really getting stuff together and still cranking out like really useful accessories that all kind of just fit together. So maybe not the actual like hard receiver pouches, but definitely stuff like the screen stand, things like that. I think it's going to be, I think that's pretty much on my wish list. Again, I'm holding off for like a big wireless introduction. So it was interesting with the SPDR, mainly for the fact of just firstly distinguishing the use cases between the body one and the stereo one. So if you had car rigs and stuff like that, being able to just go into one recorder with a stereo signal. But yeah, I'm still, I don't know, I kind of, just like I remember last year at NAB especially, there was this wave of timecode, right? You had literally every timecode manufacturer, they came out with something small, and that there was a whole category almost change because everyone kind of upped their game all at once. This one kind of felt like everyone was doing little bits here and there, but you kind of want to see a big move in kind of one category. So I'll see if that happens at NAB with some bigger releases. Hyder mic stuff was quite interesting, and Ursa mic stuff, and even the Viviana strap for like extreme work of it being waterproof. It's just nice to see that. Yeah, I guess overall, there's everything's kind of just still moving forward in a way, which is always nice to see, of course. And people obviously always have to keep developing stuff. Timecode everything, even the microwave, but the labs haven't changed except internal recording. Yeah, that's true. I was kind of waiting for more integrated systems as well. So it was always going to be interesting to see what Sound Devices and Audio Limited did together. So they have some interesting stuff like that A10 rack and like frequency scanner software and stuff. But yeah, whether it's at my like level of work, it's interesting just to see the industry as a whole, because the bottom is now such like a higher entry. Kind of feels like the top, you're literally paying like you're paying an awful lot for like the last 2% of like current perfection of like gear these days, like the new DPAs, for instance. So actually, yeah, I think a lot more people are going to be a lot more content. So unless a lot of things radically change, I can see gear obviously lasting longer, and it's going to be really interesting where those kind of R&D decisions go in terms of like what can be put out in a kind of meaningful way that's going to last a long time and not be superseded by stuff, but also have enough different stuff to keep people kind of engaged. So I think obviously the internal recording thing on transmitters, and especially like the signals to start and stop remotely, from within a mixer and stuff. That'll be really interesting, especially around the time patents run out and things like that. Or maybe before. We don't even know what's going on with that, even though maybe this video will also be used in a place of court in a land where I'm not in. So yeah, so overall, I guess we're just kind of waiting, really, but things are sounding pretty good. Wireless timecode, no more cables. Yeah, potentially inbuilt, but I mean, we're pretty much there. Timecode systems, at the moment, that's exactly what you do. You just plug in a unit. It has the main master, or it can take the main master from your recorder, and it will instantly just broadcast. So those ultrasync ones just pick it up straight away, and they keep picking it up until they go out of range. Then they go on internal and just keep going themselves. And then when they pick it back up, they readjust, and everything's done. Okay, I'll try and make this the final question, actually, because I've gone on a little bit, haven't I? Lav mounting. How often do you How often do you do the hair / hat / glasses versus normal sternum? I would definitely say the hair and the glasses are my least favorite compared to on the chest. But hats, love hats. Just because they're always on mic. Beanies especially are amazing. And now we're getting into winter. Don't forget scarves. You can look up a video that I did on that already, comparing those. But beanies, scarves, caps are a little harder to do. And glasses can generally just be a bit of a pain, because unless it's an actress or an actor with long hair over the neck and into the clothing, there's likely to be a lot of labor involved in terms of hiding that cable, which can be pretty tricky as well. So that's where I will end it for now, but I will probably do another chat with you guys tomorrow. Leave a like on this video, or a thumbs down if you didn't enjoy it, and that just shows more engagement, so that's always a good thing. And I guess until next time, as they say, even though I know that there's a minute delay, so maybe someone else will ask a question. That, as they say, is, I guess, the end. So until next time, I will catch y'all later. And maybe I'll put this on a podcast as well. I should probably start doing that kind of thing more. So you can join me on the podcast if you download the Anchor app and search Sound Rolling. Then you'll see my face pop up, and you can listen to a load of sound chats and all sorts of good stuff like that. So head over to that, and I will see you guys later.